Hi everyone, welcome to the Ice Cafe. Thanks Puya for that introduction. I'm excited to be with you again today. As Puya said, we're going to focus on our coaching conversation, but it's not any type of coaching conversation. It's a combination of ICF competencies that as coaches we learn, combined with a philosophy around strength-based development. So before we dive into that, I want to just thank every one of you who've put the time in to come and join us tonight. Thanks for the team. We've done a lot of work getting everybody here. I think we're going live on LinkedIn for the first time, so that's all exciting. I'm going to, before we dive in and have a conversation with Nazanin, I want to, as usual, our custom ritual is to get to know you all. So I'm going to ask you to participate fully in the poll that I'm just going to put up here. I think there's 2 or 3 questions, and I'd like you to let us know where you're at. So it's about getting to know you. This should be coming up on your screen. Puya, if you can tell me if it's actually happening or not.
Mine.
No,
Not on mine.
it's not launching.
No. It appeared when I first joined.
Okay. Well, maybe you can have a look at that, Puya, in the system, and we'll come back to that, so we don't lose time. And we'll come back and have a look at to see what.
Do you see it? Do you see it now, by the way?
Do I see it? I don't see it. I'm just wondering whether the participants can see it. I think Jane, if I'm not mistaken,
we did it.
Jane in the chat has put, I did mine 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. I did it also as well.
So I don't know. This AI system has come in and taken over the whole thing. You know, you guys, it's done my job. I'm going to become redundant. So okay, so I can't see the results, so I can't share with you the results. Hopefully we can do that a little bit later. Puya, if you can kind of dig in and see if you can see the results, we might be able to share them. Be nice to see who's who here at some stage. So right now we're gonna dive into a conversation, a coaching conversation. But before we do that, I'd like to share with you my understanding of a strength-based development and how in our programs we bring that philosophy into our coaching conversations in order for it to be more impactful for the client. That client could be our colleagues at work, if you're having a coaching conversation with them as a team leader, or it could be our clients as in our coaching business. It really works for both areas. So I'm gonna share with you a couple of slides, and I'm gonna just explain what's behind it from a philosophy perspective, so that we kind of understand what the mindset is behind strength-based development. If you've heard this before, please bear with me. You might hear something new as well. Hopefully, there's some learning along the way. So this slide, I put up this slide because one of the things as coaches or team leaders we forget, and it's something to kind of constantly remind ourselves, is that when we are coaching someone, when we're having a coaching conversation with someone, in fact, when we're having a conversation with anyone, whether it's a coaching conversation or not, the other person is not the same as us. The other person has different experiences, talents, values, needs, and that makes that person unique. Now, the reason why we've put this "you are one in a million" is because as part of our programs, we have a strength workshop, and you get to do an assessment. Some of you may have already done a Gallup assessment on Strength Finder, and when it comes up with your top 5 talent themes, if you do the maths, there is no one that has the same themes in that same order, from a perspective of like, it's actually 1 in every 33 million, if you do the maths. And then if you look at the number of other talents that we have, which is a lot more than 5, there really isn't anyone like us. So when we go into a conversation, one of the things to remember is to kind of remove ourselves and what we think our needs are, or our values are, or the way we see the world. Just recognize that the client sees the world in a different way. They have their own filters, and those filters are primarily those talents, that a combination of talents that they have. And the other thing about this philosophy is if we focus on strengths, then individuals become more productive and more fulfilled, they feel stronger in what they do. So we need to understand what strength means. And a very quick review of what strength is: it's a lot to do with how you feel in a particular task or activity, whatever task activity we do. So it's important to think about this as in the context of the client's conversation. What is the task and activity they're talking about? And you might see some of that demonstration in my conversation with Nazanin. And also, are they producing consistent positive outcomes? Because when they do that, they are sitting in their strength. That's the philosophy. So in order to really dig deep in terms of where this feeling comes in around us doing particular tasks and activities, it really is our unique combination of talents that drives that feeling. And talents are how we naturally think, feel, behave without consciously thinking about it. How is this subconsciously occurring? We've kind of that's developed in our brain cells and DNA at a very young age. So just to kind of close the loop, when you do the Strength Finder test for the strength workshop that we do, you'll get your top 5. These are my top 5. And there is a personalized description of what each of these mean to me. And when I go into that personalized report, I'm picking out some unique talents that's to do with me. And when I identify those talents, I start to understand how I am automatically looking at the external environment. And that's what's driving the show for me. So that's kind of the summary of where that philosophy is. And the power of this, when we go into a conversation, especially a coaching skills conversation, is that we are moving the individual from where they are to somewhere that they want to be. And I always refer to a better place, a better version, a better utilization of their natural talents, which means if we're doing that on our day-to-day conversations, what happens is that, first of all, we are feeling better because we're actually developing our talents rather than anything else. And also, as team leaders, we're helping our colleagues to focus on their talents. That becomes a real big win for managers in organization, how their teams can develop and become stronger. And as coaches, exactly the same. We want to do that with our clients. So I'm going to invite Nazanin to join me in a second for us to have a conversation. So we're going to go to a demo. It's a 20 to 30 minute conversation. And I want you to kind of see where this conversation is heading. So let's look at just for a second what the ICF definition of coaching is. So this partnership between myself tonight and Nazanin in a conversation, it's the idea is this process is going to start making Nazanin think and create and become more motivated, and in essence move towards utilizing what this calls potential. if you put the words talents in there, it's the same thing. We want Nazanin to maximize usage of her talents and development of her talents, whether it's in her personal life or professional life. That's the idea of a coaching conversation or a coaching session. And ICF has come up with 8 competencies. So if you go into a coaching education accredited by ICF, so the program is designed so that you learn the 8 competencies and also the sub behaviors or skills that fall under this. So if you look at this, there's 4 main pillars. The first pillar is all about, who are you and what are you doing for your own personal development as a coach, and how you're showing up. The second one is how you're co-creating relationships. So building trust, being present, making sure that you fully understand what the client wants to get out of the sessions. And if you're a team leader, this is absolutely paramount. Is what is the aligned agreement that your colleagues are going to go and work on? Do they really understand it? Are they aligned? Do they buy into it? So this is built on co-creating relationships, and then this ongoing communication. How do you make that effective so that you're really hearing their talents, you're really hearing their needs, and also you are using the tools like questioning and observations so that they become aware of something that they are not aware of at the moment, or their awareness widens from where it is at the moment. And that's potentially shining a light where your client or the other person is in their blind spot. So that's, sometimes feedback is a tool that's required. Ultimately, this is in the intention of that session is the client gets the outcome they want from the session and goes out of the session with some actions and plans to work on their personal growth. And in the strength-based development language, what we're saying is you're leaving the session to go and develop your talents and invest in your talents. That's where you're going to get your biggest buck for the time you're going to put in there. So that's the return on your energy and investment. So to do that at a PCC level, professional coaching certificate for ICF, in our program, we talk about the 3 W's. So when you are looking at the person as a whole, meaning that you're hearing their talents, you're hearing what it is that the issue or the objective they're coming into the session with, and you're also hearing the context and the situation they're in. And by hearing all of that, you can be a catalyst as a coach for the results that client wants to achieve. So I'm going to ask Nazanin to join us. If you can open up your video link.
Hi, it's open. Hi, everybody.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming and thanks for volunteering.
No problem. Pleasure. I'm sure it's going to be amazing for me as well. And hi, everybody. Good to be here.
Thanks, Nazanin. So as Puya said, Nazanin is part of the ICE faculty. She's an MCC. Nazanin and I have been working together for over 10 years. So we've worked together, so we know each other very well. So a lot of the conversations that may occur today, we may refer to what we already know of each other. And I may refer to that. You might hear that in my language when I'm talking to Nazanin. Nazanin is going to come with her own goal for this conversation. We've agreed that we're going to wrap it up in 20 to 30 minutes. So Nazanin, why don't we just jump right in if you agree?
Sure. Absolutely. So Taymour, the topic you're going to hear from me is not exactly something new. We discussed it before, but I think it's more developed now. So I know more things about the topic and new challenges, and that's why I brought it back. And it's about exercise. And when I say exercise, I mean to get, because, you know, my goal is not to lose weight or anything as such. It is more for me to have physical activities that it will give strength to my body. And this is something that, you know me well, it's very important for me. And I'm an active person in general, but it's something that, to me, I know that doing an exercise in a shape or form that I enjoy, like streaming or other kind of games, it will, first of all, it gives me a better flexibility and, you know, all those good stuff that it relates to doing exercise consciously, not just, you know, doing everyday task and moving because you have 2 kids and you have to keep running around, you know. So this is the conversation that we had before with each other, and I told you that this is very important for me. I've tried so many different ways, and it seems like it's just not happening the way I would like it to happen. And again, I'm where I was many times before, that I'm not happy with the amount of physical activity in a form of exercise that I'm getting. And that's why I'm here again today. And just to let you know what brought it up for me, that is even more annoying than before, is that I even joined the gym. I've joined a club that it gives me the access of being able to work, because that was the issue. So I have a space that I can work and I can exercise, but I go there and I just work. Exercise is again not there. So this is, you know, all of these putting aside to each other is just really annoying me. And that's why I'm here again.
Yeah, I hear you. First of all, I kind of sense that you are looking at all sorts of strategies. So I'm hearing strategies, right?
Yeah.
You're applying strategies to make this work, and
Absolutely.
And you mentioned a couple of things that I want to kind of understand a little bit better, see if that might help. You mentioned the amount of activity that's important to you.
Mm-hmm.
You alluded to the type of activity that you enjoy. Like you mentioned swimming, that might kind of entice you to do more of because you enjoy it. And then I heard a pull and push story going on. This thing that if there was a rope in between the two, at one end of the rope it's called exercise, that's pulling, and then the other end of the rope is called work, that's pulling. And the work seems to have more muscles, and it seems to be pulling and getting over this way more than this way. That's the picture. That's the picture. I'm kind of. So there's lots of things. There's lots of elements here. Right? I'm just kind of looking at what I'm hearing at the elements. Where should we focus? Where you think is the real value add for today?
I love the part that you put your finger on the word amount. Amount is important, but I'm not sure what amount is sufficient. So maybe that's one point. Mm. And then when you were categorizing that pull and push sort of like thing, and that the work has more muscle, I would like to add one more hand in this octopus. Looks like octopus now. It's family and kids. So right now, and like when I go to the club, it ends up either I'm working or taking the kids to do activities, and then there will be no time for me to have any activity, you know, and or you know, all the other things that is going to happen next to it. So I would like to add these two as well to your summary, and where to focus on. I'm really not sure where is the real issue. Maybe just to understand what is stopping. Is it really because the work is more powerful, or maybe that's where I need to focus on, to understand what is the real reason. Is it really work and kids and the time factor, or is it something else? I'm not too sure, to be honest.
Interesting. You mentioned something new. At least I heard something new. You added something called the time factor.
Yeah.
What's that about?
I think the time is kind of similar to the other ones. It's like if I have 3 hours and I have to choose, then that's where the work muscle is stronger or the kid muscle is stronger. So for example, today before I came here, I went to the club. I took my mom there that she get her exercise done, but I sat down and I work. So I actually made my way there. And I did it for her because I wanted her to get physical activity, but I didn't do it for myself. It's so funny, isn't it? I sat down and I work that 2 hours that I've made my way there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's maybe.
So I sense there's a bulb going up already. There's something going up in your head. What is it?
Maybe that's where I use the word annoying coming from. That I'm not sure how to put it. Maybe it's like I don't. If I have to put priority, I don't put the priority on my maybe health. And this is something that is happening in a lot of places. If I have to go to doctor for something that is related to me, it keeps getting postponed, and everything else it comes first. So I find putting that time on my because it's purely health. The reason I want to, when I say health is physical and mental, obviously. It's not just physical. So yeah, and because I don't see something, and then sometimes I say, do you have to see something like wrong, that like you're physically like really ill, that you can't move from the bed, that you actually decide to do something about it, and then you say, okay, oh, now it really is a must, and it's almost as if like I'm behaving that way. But still, when I go there and I look at the list of work I have to do, I say, oh my God, like how could you just not do this and go and exercise?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe that's, yeah.
Interesting. So I want to, as I mentioned earlier, I know a little bit about you from our previous conversations and working together. What I know about you is that you have an incredible buzz. You have an incredible good feel factor when you've got a number of balls in the air.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. And in your conversation today, I hear very loud and clear that you've got not only a variety of things that are priority for you, but even within each one of those, there's a bunch of stuff going on. So it's not just the number of balls; it's the number of things within those balls that are in the air, right?
Yeah.
So when you look at that image based on what drives you, what do you see there?
Mm. I see an old pattern that me having this kind of strength and like I like this, as you said, I doing things last minute or doing things so many things at once. It actually kind of improve. I can think faster, and it will, as you said, give me a buzz. But it at the same time, it challenges me. It challenges me at times. It really challenges and it exhausts me. But it's like I don't learn from the lesson that maybe. I don't know. It's like I don't choose wisely. I don't know what to say. I don't. It's a thing that it's like maybe I should. There are too many balls in the air. This time it might collapse on my head. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not, because I feel, and this is funny, Taymour, this time of where I am in my life, I feel like I am more in control of the number of balls that is in the air. Funny enough, I have to take what I said back. I feel like I'm in more control, especially when it comes to work. I'm more focused. I know what I'm picking and what I'm not picking. Regarding to the family, things are, it's as if it's not the number of balls that I have in the air. It's that I need to add one more ball in the air, which is me. And I think this is and then I would feel like, okay, this is also in the air. So if you don't manage this one like the others, everything will fall down. So maybe this is it this time. Because there are many times these days that I say, okay, I want to add it in this day of my in this day in my diary, and then I'm like, okay, or the last time we were in a meeting together and I canceled. I knew I'm gonna be late and I'm gonna miss that class, but I didn't say anything. I was so angry with myself after. I said, it's nobody's fault. You didn't say anything. So I just need to add this ball and see it as a must. And then I will arrange it like I arranged my mom today. How did I do that?
Yeah. You said I've got to add this ball in the air, additionally called Nazanin, and you also said you've got to do something with it, so that becomes alive. It starts to actually show up as you seeing it in action. Is that what I'm hearing? There's two elements here.
Yeah. Something keeps coming up, as you're talking, and I keep thinking maybe that's one thing that I have to add to. What is it? I keep saying that this is so important for me. I want it. But what stops me from behaving that way? So maybe that bringing it in a diary, no matter what stays in a diary, is behaving that way. And then I can consciously decide how often do I want to do it. What I told you right in the beginning, the amount. Maybe these will help.
So I first of all, I think you've just added another arm to the octopus, right? So there's a Nazanin element here. And what I heard from you right at the beginning, Nazanin, is that it looks like Nazanin was there because you went and joined the club. It was so it's not as if Nazanin wasn't there. You wanted to exercise, and you put a strategy. You've been putting it in the diary.
Yes.
And yet something else gets a priority over the fact that you've put a strategy in place, but you don't implement the strategy. So what I'm hearing behind all that is something to do perhaps with a relationship you have in a conversation, again, it's about something that you feel strongly about, is the relationship you have with others, right? So whether it's family, whether it's work, people at work, there seems to be sometimes a conflict because you need to say no, you need to say this is more priority. This is what I'm hearing. There's something in here about the element of how you feel. It's your relationship with the people or the individuals that are in that tug of war or in that octopus pulling and pushing. That's what I sense is happening. That feels stronger than giving Nazanin the space.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Wherever I look at it, it's that if it's work, I say, oh, I have a responsibility. I have to do this. How could you? And then in the house, Saturday, Sundays, I'm like, either get angry with my husband that you don't let me, or it's like either I have to fight or I have to give up. It's that sort of feeling. And then kids, and then it's right. It's almost like sometimes it's almost so exhausting that it's easier not to do it. So I say, leave it. And it just doesn't worth me arguing for hours to go and exercise for 1 hour and come back, So I just sort of give up at the end. Or it's easier to explain, easier to not do it and just, do something else that is to do with others than explaining. Yes, you're right. It's a lot of time. That's how it gets cancelled. And then it's mentally, tiring. So you don't do it.
That sounds like you're that's a win. There's a win of seeing that. I know in your talents we've talked about your relator is a talent where how you build trust and relationships with others. Also your harmony around how you want to make sure there's consensus, and getting into something that's out of balance doesn't feel so good. I'm just wondering how this energy in you, how this dynamic in you can be developed in a way. Where could you go and focus to rebalance this? Is it your communication? Is it a different type of communication required? That's also part of your talent base. What do you see here with this mixture of energy that's inside you?
I think the main thing was for me to stop being frustrated and angry or annoyed, that combination of the feeling. And then now it's just according to the timing, use something else, and not just the harmony that in me is like, oh, we're always trying to keep peace, So instead of trying to keep that and avoid, conflict and just, then it's easier to close my eyes on myself. I go and start to see what I can do. Maybe it needs a communication. Maybe the communication doesn't work. It's not really about communication. It's more about using my. I feel like here I can really use my arranger because I was not using my arranger. I really need to use my arranger. And then the relator and the communication and everything is just, they're doing their job. I'm doing that. It's just I'm not using my arranger. I'm more using that feeling, and that's why I said what I said before. So I think I need to start arranging things with my other. I can go and I can speak with my husband, and not get angry and just say I've arranged this in this way that he is least affected, and I can do my exercise, and then if something doesn't work, like last time I was doing that class at, let's say, blah blah time on Saturday, I can see it doesn't work, then don't get frustrated. Just see if something is not working, arrange it in another way. Don't give up. So maybe this is what I'm thinking.
Interesting. So if you go intentionally looking at that arranger muscle you have, right, to develop it so that you become stronger in the way you arrange, so that you get the results you want more often. Remember, you're going to make this really strong by learning how to make sure every time you go into this, you're producing the outcome you want. From that mindset, what is it you're taking away today to develop that?
The main thing is that one, see myself as well, and don't worry about, like always, don't worry about the relationship with others. My relation with me is strong. My relation with others will be stronger. So not saying anything. I just have to remind myself, not saying anything doesn't bring peace. It actually will bring frustration. So that's one thing that I have to remember. And then when I remember that, I will go and I will communicate more effectively. I will arrange better, and I will use help, where I have, because as you said, I have so many strategies. It's just that I don't take, when the strategies are not going right, I don't take it personally. It's like as if I almost took it personally and I just left it that, oh, come on, this is not going to work out. Because I remember there was a period I was doing it. Now that I'm thinking, there was a period that I was doing it in an amazing way. And then I gave up when things start going wrong, especially with my classes that I love them. Then I start to become so frustrated. And then I just became, I'm here today. Then I had to come here.
I love it. I love it the way you've looked at this in terms of by you looking at yourself and making sure you feel better in yourself. You are going to impact your relationships, whether it's kids, whether it's husband, colleagues. You're starting to fill the reasons, the list where it talks about the reasons why I want to change that focus. I love that, and I'm sure that's something that we can look at as we go forward in terms of how can you build that list more and more, where it gives you that good feel factor more immediately than you mentioned. Why should I wait until I feel ill to go and do something for me? The reason is that there's lots of reasons why you can do that right now. And I think you're starting to do that. So what are you taking away? What have you learned about yourself today?
A lot, a lot. And maybe the biggest thing was the fact that the relationship I have with others, it came up again, that how unconsciously, even though I'm aware of it, how unconsciously it's still there, and it affects my day-to-day behavior. And also I've learned how I can use my when I was thinking that, oh, it's too many balls in the air and I'm frustrated, blah blah blah. Now I'm thinking, okay, big deal. I can do that. It's not a big deal. I can do even more than that, and it's true. Seriously, adding 1 or 2 hours more exercise is just ridiculously, stupidly easy. It's a fact, and it's just if today doesn't work, tomorrow, if the week is 7 days, and we will find 2 hours a week. It's no big deal. So yeah, I think this harmony of mine, it's so naughty. Because every now and then I catch her doing something which she shouldn't, and I always think, oh, I have this under control, but hey, no, it reminds me of again, no. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's come up now, and I think you've got your radar to kind of be able to reel it back when you need to reel it back.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So Nazanin, are you complete for today's session? Is there anything else you want to add?
No, thank you very much. Thank you for really seeing what you saw about the relationship. I imagined so many things, but not this one. Really, not this one. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you for volunteering. I know it's not easy in a forum like this. Thank you for being you, always volunteering and being there for others. Thanks.
So, any questions? If you have any questions, I know that some people left their comment in the chat, but if you have any questions, I'm sure Taymour will be happy to answer them.
Yeah, if you have any questions about the coaching, or even if you have a question on the programs or ICF standards, we've got a little bit of time. I'm happy to answer what's on your mind, if I can.
Not a question, it's just an observation, Taymour, just to thank you for that live demo with Nazanin. I think that was really insightful. And as you know, I've attended a number of your sessions, and I think that really worked well for me. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to see you again, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Hossein had said that Nazanin is not the only one. It seems like this is I'm sure it is. I'm kind of identifying a lot with what Nazanin said as well. It's a very common predicament, I think, that a lot of people are finding themselves in, life balance and trying to get that balance right. So
yeah, I think Puya, it appears in the ICF International Survey when ICF has asked clients and coaches about what are the subject matters that clients come for to resolve or get more strategies and ways of getting to it. One of the ones that comes up is this work-life balance. Kind of making better decisions suits your lifestyle. I think it's in the top 3 or 4 that the surveys come up with pretty much every time I've seen it over the last decade. It's interesting.
Wow.
Hossein saying my issue is about exercise too.
There you go.
It's it is a factor. I mean, you don't have to look far to see that a lot of people around the world, have a challenge around this. How do you balance? And also, some people don't really like exercise but at the same time, they want to improve their health. And I think there's a lot that can be done in that field, both strategy and also shifts in mindset. So, Hossein, you're not the only one, but also the good news is that it's doable. Just keep at it. Keep at it. You're welcome. So I'm not picking up any other questions in the chat from you all. If there is anything you want to know, and you don't want to mention it here, you want to talk to one of our program consultants or one of us directly, Puya, perhaps. I think we've got a slide that shows the numbers and connections. Let me just see if I can bring that up.
And also, in addition, we have a lot of resources that are available for free on our website. So you can always go to our website. There's a resources page, and we regularly publish articles that you can actually download. They're PDF articles. You can download them. And of course, we'd love for you to follow us on our Instagram or on LinkedIn, where we'll notify you of upcoming events and free webinars and demos. So if you join one of our channels, you'll be kept up to date about what's coming up, and we have loads of promotions as well regularly. So would love to see you there.
Thank you for putting your time and energy to be here. We're here if you want to connect with us. Hopefully we'll see you at the next Ice Cafe or one of the events. Keep in touch. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, everyone.
By the way, if we don't come up with you and you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.